Hi, everybody. Today we're going to talk about strategic finance and specifically, what is strategic finance? My name is Zoo. I've spent the last 8 years working in strategic finance, and before that, I spent about 4 years working in investment banking and in capital markets. Don't worry, I'm not going to share any of my 100-hour-a-week nightmare stories. Quick side plug, I created something called strategicfinancecareers.com, and all we do is help people break into strategic finance. People from backgrounds from investment banking all the way to accounting, consulting, and engineering. We speak with industry professionals on a frequent basis, and we have an online program that helps you break into it. All right, so what is strategic finance? I've broken it down into three main categories. Some other folks would have a slightly different definition. Remember, this is a new and upcoming career, but I like these three definitions. Number one, the strategic finance team acts as the nucleus of the business. Said another way, they are the connective tissue across the whole company. And why is that? It's because generally speaking, the strategic finance team sits right in the center of the company. This allows them to work very cross-functionally with all the different teams at the business, from marketing, sales, product, customer operations, HR, legal. You name it, the strategic finance team needs to be touching it. And the reason that is because this modern finance function really makes decisions in real time. And that takes us to our second point. Number two, strategic finance uses real-time data and analytics to model key company decisions. And this is where we see the big difference between traditional FP&A or traditional corporate finance and strategic finance. We just spoke about how strategic finance needs to be the connective tissue or the nucleus of the company. And while doing that, the team needs to model out, using real-time data, company decisions. So what's a quick example of that? A really good example of that is growth marketing. A traditional FP&A team would probably be responsible for simply reporting what a company's marketing budget may be. However, a strategic finance function will not only report, but will use that data to drive a strategic acquisition process. Using current data, they will want to understand what is the cost of acquisition, what are the different channels, how can we optimize the different channels. And so this is where we get into deep operational modeling. And that's where the strategic finance team is quite different from a traditional FP&A team. Number three, given that the Strat Fin team sits in the middle and models out all key company decisions, we need to make sure that these decisions are accretive. All that means is every single decision that the company makes needs to have a promise of long-term value generation. Doesn't necessarily mean that immediate profit has to be made. And that's how I would summarize what strategic finance is. Very quickly, I like to think about the Strat Fin team as the core or the nucleus or some sort of CPU that connects the whole company together, uses real-time data to build models in real time to drive decisions that will generate future value. Now let's spend a couple of minutes looking at what a strategic finance org structure could look like. So there's probably a few ways to think about this, but the way I've laid it out is reporting and strategic finance. So let's quickly talk about reporting and we can get that out of the way. So reporting has FP&A and accounting, and that's sort of the traditional FP&A and traditional accounting that we're all familiar with today. They do the historical reporting, they close the books, they give people updates on budget versus actuals, and that's how traditional reporting to the CFO used to be. The skill sets used for these are accounting modeling and accounting records, and these are through your software, or you can use Excel and things like that. So in today's world, I would argue that reporting actually falls under strategic finance. But just for this example, I wanted to isolate a little just so that we can see the differences quite easily. So let's jump to strategic finance now. So the first thing that the strategic finance team would do is fundraising and investor relations activities. So what is that? That's when a startup, from Series A, B, C, or D are looking to raise capital either through equity or debt. The strategic finance team would be in charge of that. And then with the investor relations, They're also then making sure that they keep their investors up to date through quarterly or monthly board meetings. The next thing we have is cost optimization. So typically, without a Strat Fin team, you don't really have anyone owning cost optimization. So that's things like increasing your margin, ensuring you're scaling correctly, looking for efficiencies and inefficiencies. But a strategic finance team, because we sit in the nucleus, can work cross-functionally to see and understand where cost optimizations can occur, especially in the world of tech, where we can reuse a lot of code and a lot of platforms that have already been built. Next, we have growth optimization. And this is both inorganic and organic growth. So for organic growth, that's things like marketing spend, expansion, pricing, etc. And so when you're working on those, the Strat Fin team will typically partner with their business partner and build operating models that will help drive business decisions. Really good example would be for marketing, like we've touched before. Then there's obviously inorganic growth, and that's your classic mergers and acquisitions. That is a big part of growth. M&A is important, even for small startups. This is why a lot of strategic finance roles actually prefer folks who used to be in investment banking. But not to worry, here at Strategic Finance Careers, we actually teach you a really unique and easy to learn merger model that you can apply pretty much everywhere. And this is a merger model that I've applied even in my current work at Tala and at Element AI. The next one is business development. This is your classic partnerships or sales channel strategy. You'll work with the business development team, you'll work with your sales and operations team, and you'll try to understand what is the best approach to maximizing things like your funnel and maximizing your top line revenue and your average contract value, etc., etc. And for all four of those, we're typically going to use financial and operating models. Those models are going to be driven by real-time data. Now remember, we're not talking three-statement models. Yes, of course, that is part of every startup. However, most of your work is not going to function around a three-statement model. That's the first step. Once you have that, and now you're working on the Strat Fin team cross-functionally, you're going to be building financial and operating models very specific to the use case for your business partner. And then towards the end, you're going to combine all of them together, and those will now drive neatly into your financial model. Thank you for watching, everybody. Hopefully you learned a little bit about strategic finance. I'm super excited about it. I think this is a new career path, especially in the tech world. We're seeing a lot of new jobs getting posted. And here at Strategic Finance Careers, we're setting up the best online program for you guys to break in and hit the ground running.